What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 95 EZPZ Podcast. We've got some homies up in here. We're about to talk about some cool stuff. So joining me this week, Luis.
What's up, man?
What up? Happy to have you back on the podcast. First time in a minute. And Trey.
What up?
Hey, Trey. Nick is out this week. He's got things he's got to do. But we're going to talk about, Luis has some topics. I see he's got some notes. I can appreciate that. And we also are going to chat about the Wonder Years show. Trey and I went to that this week at Woolies in Des Moines. Then I went to Every Time I Die Turnstile in Lawrence, Kansas. I have some notes on that, of course, because that's my favorite band of all time. Stan Lee died this week. Drake had this racist robocalls and notes situation. And then Juul suspending their flavors, and then they got a breath of fresh air when they were told they didn't have to suspend all their flavors. So we are briefly going to chat about some of those topics. It might be a long one, might be a short one. We'll see. Let's dive right in, though, to what you got, Luis. I see you got some notes. Got some reporting on some rap, probably.
I like your piece of paper. It's like
it's very flowery.
Something that someone would write a love note on, or like just like a get well letter.
Pretty much. I stole it from Chantel. It's the only piece of paper I could find.
Heck yeah.
So first thing is obviously you went and saw Travis Scott. What festival was it?
Osheaga. And we did not see Travis Scott because do you remember the situation where he was late by an hour and a half, and we were like, screw it, we're going to leave and go.
Yeah. It was his birthday.
Yeah, I gave him a lot of flack. Luis defended him.
But yeah, I mean, he finally announced his own festival. He has his own festival. It's a 2-day festival. It's called Astroworld, and it's in hometown Houston, and it's this November 17th. And it's going to headline, him himself playing both nights. It's going to have Post Malone, Lil Wayne, Young Thug, Ray Surmer, Trippie Reed, Smoke Perp. The lineup is pretty stacked with all the major, hip-hop acts.
Is he dating a Kardashian?
I think he's dating, one of Kylie or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
The ugliest one.
I mean, it sounds like an overall pretty cool festival. All the names are amazing, except, we didn't get to see... One of the big ones, Trippie Reed, we didn't get to see him.
Yes, I wanted to see him so bad. He just released his second album of the year. He
I
released
know.
2 albums in 1 year. That's how you know this dude's just putting out whatever.
It's like
I really wish we would have seen him though at 515. Bummer that he ended up canceling. So, are you gonna go to this? Are you gonna go to this music festival?
No, I just thought it was pretty cool that Travis Scott has built his music career so high up that now he's actually has his own festival, just like Tyler the Creator.
Yes. Camp Flog-Gnaw, which sold out the last 2 or 3 years it's happened,
really?
Instantly. And he does a good job. It looks like Travis Scott's taking a page out of Tyler the Creator's book as far as curating all the main headlining rap artists out right now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them anyway.
Is he the guy that does bands at Maker Dance, or is that Juicy J?
That's Juicy J.
I thought that they were both on that track or something though.
No, I think Tyler the Creator, his genre of music is really different.
Not Tyler the Creator. I was talking about Travis Scott.
Travis Scott, he might be, dude. Astroworld.
Oh yeah. What do you think about Astro? Okay, here we go. So would you say that Astroworld, that new album by Travis Scott, is in your top albums of 2018 then, or?
I would say not. I mean, there's a few songs that I really like, but it's not the best album I've ever heard. I think.
Sure. What else do you like that came out this year? I know we're previewing a little bit of what our end of the year list podcast is going to be like.
So speaking of Tyler the Creator, he just dropped a full Grinch inspired holiday EP that features 6 tracks, which is pretty cool because I think he's probably inspired by the movie.
So he's actually in the official soundtrack.
Really?
Yes. 2 of those songs are in the official soundtrack, if
I'm
not
obsessed
4.
with the Grinch, dude.
Really?
Oh my god. It's my favorite Christmas story, far and away.
Nice.
Dude, I love that shit, dude. So I'll listen to that for sure then, because I love Tyler and definitely crossover. There goes my phone. Dude, the other day I was delivery driving and I get out of my car, drop my phone, and one of my coworkers I've seen you drop your phone twice today. And I'm like, that's probably the 6th or 7th time, honestly, bro.
Happens, dude. But yeah, when you say that you love the Grinch, that's totally me, dude. I love Jim Carrey in the 90s, obviously. Carried over. I love Eternal Sunshine, of course. I've said this a million times. You know this. But I love the Grinch he did. His Grinch was so good. I already love the Dr. Seuss animated version. But those tracks, I have them on my November playlist because I love those, or two of the tracks anyway that he's made. Mm-hmm. You're a really mean one, Mr. Grinch. Like, his voice is perfect for it. It's so low, you know?
Oh, sure. It's
awesome. So, so you really are jamming on those? You're liking that?
I have not listened to it
yet.
Okay. I'm going to check it out.
Are you on Spotify
weekend.
or are you on Apple Music?
Yeah, I'm on Spotify. Yeah, Spotify and SoundCloud. I got rid of my Apple Music. And
yeah, that's what you said.
Not to offend anybody, but I'll probably never go back.
I don't blame you. I'm in the Apple ecosystem, and I'm stuck there. I mean, I admire Trey's, like, PC. It's like he probably spent a couple grand on it, and it's probably 6 times as strong as my laptop, which I spent a couple grand on. I know that's a little bit old, though. I mean, it doesn't exactly correlate, but I do appreciate the speeds of the PCs. But getting back to what you're saying, Tyler's doing things, man. He's making official soundtrack tracks. I love that. I'm super happy for him. He did release Flower Boy, or Flower, whatever it's called, last year, and it got Grammy nomination, or a couple years ago now. What else you got for us, Tommy?
Just a little weird thing. I was trying to see what you guys thought about this. So
right.
Post is releasing a Sour Patch Kids cereal that offers a unique taste experience that starts off sour, then sweet, just like, the candy itself.
What?
Just kind of, what do you guys think about that?
Dude, if it doesn't make your mouth bleed after eating a bunch of it, I don't want any part of it, is all I'm saying. Like, it has to have shards of glass in it to be true to the candy. Yeah. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'll eat it.
I saw the box, the actual advertisement, and it looks cool because it looks like little Sour Patch Kids come out of the box. I don't know if they're going to be shaped like them. Who knows?
Yeah, no, it looked like, I saw the box. It looks like they're shaped like little Sour Patch Kids, like pretty much exactly like the candy. Like, I don't know what those kids are supposed to be, man. They're creepy. They got dead eyes.
Yeah, dude. Those commercials are pretty good, though. Like, when it's like, they're sour, then they're sweet, and it's like them doing something horrible, and then they're hugging, like, the kid or whatever.
Kind of to derail the entire podcast, but do you remember the Cinnamon Toast Crunch commercials where the cereals were eating each other all the time? Mm-hmm. The little pieces, and they were like little cannibal cereals, but they didn't really paint them as cannibals, but they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, those
Dude,
were
speaking of cereal, did you guys hear about the news that came out in Hollywood this week about how General Mills is trying to make a movie, obviously just a 2-hour-long advertisement to kids, but with all of their cereal mascots. So Count Dracula, we got Boo Berry, we got
Count Chocula.
I'm not a true cereal fanatic like you, but all those, like, they're trying to, like, just make a crazy cereal, General Mills cereal universe.
I just want the, what's it called, Cookie Crisp guy in there. Like, that's all I want to see is 2 hours of the Cookie
Favorite
Crisp
cereal, go. Luis.
By Trix.
Trix.
Yeah, man.
Trix are, man, those are like,
but it's got to be the original Trix.
Yeah, the shape, when they changed them all to the generic gentrified balls, that kind of, like, fucked with me, too.
So,
as far as
for the listeners playing at home that may not know, what are Trix, if one of you could explain?
It's like a rainbow explosion in your mouth.
Right on, okay. That's
They're just, like, shaped like oranges and limes and shit like that.
Yeah, they used to be shaped and, like, there's like like you said, little fruits and flowers and stuff.
Yeah.
But now they changed them into, like, little balls, and it's not as exciting to eat anymore.
Right.
I bought it, like, those giant-ass bags.
Oh, yeah.
Bought some of that. Still have it in my cupboard. I'll probably never finish it because I'm so disappointed.
It's, like, stale 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Dude, for real. Trey, what's your favorite cereal?
Dude, there's too many. There's too many. So, if I have to pick one, Oreo O's.
Dude,
really?
Those are fucking
okay.
That one's like, I haven't had it in years.
So I never got to try that when I was a kid.
You've never had it?
I don't think I probably had it once.
If you haven't had it, man, I would have to get you some of it. But
okay.
And other than that, man, Frosted Flakes are good for certain occasions.
So Frosted Flakes with more sugar, right?
No, dude.
Okay.
You just put a small amount of milk. I've got like an interesting strategy for my cereal where I put a small amount of cereal, little milk, and then eat that little bit, You reapply.
Exactly.
You keep on doing that.
I'm a
keep your
reapplier.
crunch. Gail does these like gigantic heaping bowls of cereal. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you, girl? You can eat the whole box the way I eat it, you know? Well, but.
I know, I love that. Sometimes I'm in the mood for the soggy. I like it soggy sometimes. Sometimes I want crisp, crunchy, just next to no milk. I'm one of those people. My favorite probably though would be what's the chocolate one? Chocolate Pebbles or whatever?
Chocolate
Pebbles. I don't want Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah.
The chocolate version with heaping, like, full spoon heapings of peanut butter.
Whoa, okay, peanut butter. I thought you were saying sugar. I was like, diabetes, but peanut butter. I'd have to try it, I
Dude,
guess.
It's tight. I like milk, peanut butter, chocolate all together. It's really good. Dude, thanks for that. Dude, what else you got in the docket? That's a great cereal talk I was not expecting to have today.
Speaking of cereal,
Okay.
and because we're talking about the Wonder Years, did you ever listen to that EP where they sing about, like, Captain Crunch cutting the roof of your mouth?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a song, I think, on that EP where it's Captain Crunch was... Okay, so the singer
affair?
was... Yeah, so the singer was dating a girl Kool-Aid or something? Or was it girl Captain Crunch? I don't know.
It was the guy right here.
There you go.
Yeah. So it was girl Kool-Aid and guy Captain Crunch, and like they were having an affair and cheating on the dude that's singing or whatever.
Yeah, Get Stoked on It from 2007. I loved this EP. I did try listening to it like in the last couple of years. Doesn't hold up.
No, that one does not hold up at all.
That's actually the one that actually got me into the Wonder Years.
Yeah.
Oh,
Same
yeah.
for everybody.
And actually,
you know?
I'm kind of pissed now because it's not even on Spotify. So
Ooh.
that's kind of the thing that I noticed
that's a
about
dig.
Spotify.
Yeah, that's a dig.
Yeah, so thank you for the awesome segue. Let's get into that show, The Wonder Years, Trey. I want to hear your thoughts on a couple of the things. Well, just to set the stage for the listeners playing at home, though, The Wonder Years played at Woolies with openers of named Roxbury, which we missed. We ended up missing them. We got there a little bit later. But when we saw most of Shortly's set, Oso, Have Mercy, and then The Wonder Years. So it was a pretty long show.
Yeah, you were up late. You ended up leaving like midnight, right? Or like 11?
With you guys, I got home at like 11:30.
For sure.
Which is pretty late, yeah. Well, we all went home together at least. So Shortly was fun. I thought, so it was a female-led singer, songwriter type vibe, but then like crashing in with like the guitars. So like it led with her vocals a lot of the songs, and then the guitars and the drums would crash in.
Yeah, no, I thought they were really good for like such a young band, you know. And like they had like a cool little dynamic where she's like, these are my best friends, you know, and like obviously kind of gimmicky, but at the same time
doing it for
cute.
The love of the show.
Yeah, definitely. It's funny to see bands like that like popping up nowadays, that they're like small touring bands. They probably don't make shit, and they're just doing it because they really want to play music really bad.
Yeah, and I think as we get older and we get jobs and we have families and we have health insurance, which is tight. You know, as we have all of that kind of stuff, it makes me think differently about them, like have more respect for that, like and also appreciate that desire and that passion to do it. I mean, get out there at 22, 21, not being in class, you know, not going to college, doing what you love. So Oso was really great. I loved them. They had opened for other bands in the scene on tours that I wanted to go to, so I had been familiar with the name, never really listened to them. But I'm planning on downloading something or checking out some of their music here.
Yeah, I didn't think they had any like standout songs, honestly. I thought it was kind of just in that turnover, the wake of some good turnover albums that they were trying to kind of ride that. But
yeah, I think I do agree with you. Like, for them more so, I was digging like 2 or 3 tracks a lot, and then the rest was like good.
Sure.
Like, I appreciate that, but Have Mercy, those weeders, man. Talked about weed a lot.
Dude, it was so funny. Like, it's such an inefficient way to get weed, is like spend like 10 years making a touring band and then like going to Des Moines, Iowa to try to get weed one time. Like, it was a weird setup, man. Like, Anyways, it was pretty funny.
What happened exactly then?
So they said they ditched their weed at the Canadian border, came back, somebody was a weed Santa Claus for them, gave them weed. But then, this is like over the course of like 5 songs that we've heard this story.
It's like a build-up. It's like chapter 1 in between, just on chapter 2, then chapter 3. It's like, they've got this.
So then like song 5 rolls around and they're like, yeah, and we're about out of that weed. And so then the end of song 6 rolls around, and this is where the payout comes for these guys. They're like, if anyone wants to hook us up with some weed, brothers, pretty much.
We're going to be at Up Down after this.
Oh, is that what they said, too? Shit.
We're going to be playing some games. You know that barcade next door? They didn't even say Up Down, but they're like, the barcade next door is pretty tight. We're going to be over there. And we're all just like, this is the longest con to like get some fan that loves them that may have some weed to come over, maybe even buy them a drink or two.
Yeah, you don't even have to have a band to get weed, guys. Like, you didn't have to do this. Like,
all jokes aside, Have Mercy was amazing.
Yeah, they're great.
His voice is nuts. Dude.
Yeah, no, I'd listened to several of their albums before, and like it honestly never caught my ear, but like seeing them live kind of like added a context to it, and now I like really love their music.
Right.
I don't know why, but
so let's get into the top dogs though, the Wonder Years. Trey, what we got a set list. I have the set list here pulled up. What did you think overall about the set list? I mean, here's the thing. They didn't play any songs except for one off of the Upsides, and they didn't play anything off that Get Stoked EP on an EP.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
They were so over. They're over that. They're more mature, and they really are. But
yeah, I mean, it felt really gross. I felt like dirty afterwards because it was kind of like, I don't know. They had changed a lot from how they were back in the day, you know.
Can you recall the last time you saw them?
They said 7.5 years ago was the last time you
saw them
here.
in Des Moines.
Yeah, yeah.
Last time they played was at the Muse in April 2010.
Yeah, so I remember from their even shorter EP, or it was a split, they have a song called You're Not Salinger, Get Over It, and I was like, at that show yelling like, play You're Not Salinger, and they're like, it's Salinger, idiot.
You were saying that at that show?
Yeah. And
you were that guy?
Well, I mean, like, it was a different vibe than what was going on at the show.
100%, but I think I probably don't, but part of me wants to remember that somebody was doing that.
I definitely posted on the internet, so okay. I might have, you might remember it from the post I made, attached to the Woolies thing. Anyways.
Oh, okay.
But the set was, really meh for me, dude. There was a couple songs I really love in there, but for the most part, they played a bunch of songs I don't give a shit about. The sound at Woolies was, a 2 out of 10 that day. It was, absolute dog shit. And it was kind of hard to listen to a lot of times, because they were getting off time a lot, which was really surprising for a tier 1 pop punk band like that to be that shitty live. The singer was actually nailing all of his shit, and he's a good singer and had
Dan Campbell, Soupy.
Yeah, but it was kind of a gross stage performance that I would expect more from a band like Panic at the Disco, or some really, really mainstream fence walking band, not what I would think as a creative different pop punk band, you know what I mean? So overall it kind of grossed me out. They Came Out Swinging. They nailed that song.
I loved at the end, and Lydia actually mentioned before the show that they actually played a mashup of a few of their songs at the end of Came Out Swinging, which they do in a lot of their albums.
Yeah, they did that exact outro on, I think it was the Came Out Swinging album, whatever.
Suburbia.
Yeah, exactly. So they just played that outro, and it was a bunch of songs they'd already played through the set, and I didn't really care.
Yeah. No, I hear you. So they had that new album that came out this year called Sister Cities. They played half of that album, maybe a little less, 6-7 songs. It's a great album. I just don't really love his singing and his more indie alternative vocals, softer vocals. I like his pop punk power vocals. And man, yeah,
I think he does a lot of screeching in that album, the power vocals you're talking about. But I know what you mean, his kind of soft singy voice it's not what anyone that initially got attracted to the Wonder Years, like, back in the day, was here for. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah, which is us. Because we're in that category.
Pop punk people, like, notoriously have bad voices, and, like, I think it's, like, a genre that bad singers can, like, flourish in because they're, like, different. You know what I mean? There's, like, a lot of, and, like, I mean, like, Tom DeLonge from Blink, like, that he has the weirdest fucking voice ever.
It's so unique.
Yeah, exactly, and it sounds cool, and that he kind of did the same thing on his later albums where he's like trying to sing all soft and no one wants to fucking hear him. He wants to hear him like pop punk it, you know? So
yeah. So they did play Melrose Diner, which is that song off the Upsides, which is, I told Lydia, and I've said this before, it's one of my least favorite songs on that album. I mean, there's so many more standouts. And dude, Dynamite Shovel, that song kicks. It's like homophobic, anti-homophobic, I mean, song that punches like any homophobe in their face for 1 minute and 4 seconds. Why can't you just throw that in?
I think
the reasoning, real quick, I want to get into the reasoning they even played that song, Melrose Diner, at the show is because Soupy was saying, oh, we haven't been to Des Moines since April 2010, and we understand no one comes to Des Moines, and we understand it's really hard for you guys out here. I've talked to record labels, I've talked to tour managers, I've talked to them all. They all say, Des Moines, we gotta skip it. Well, guess what? We're gonna go to Des Moines all the time now. It was the most gimmicky, like, this. It was gross.
First thing, it was like super condescending about people who live in Des Moines.
Pretentious prick, man.
Yeah. But like I made the point at the show, like no one's gonna write a song about J.D. Salinger and not be pretentious.
100%,
So,
dude. Accurate, 100%.
I mean, he's always like kind of pretentious, like always referencing like this classically good literature in his writing. You know, he's always had his nose up in the air. Like, I mean. And I didn't really mind it, you know, because he's like, it's funny because he has the song, I'm not a stuck-up punk, just a fucked-up kid. He's totally stuck. He's not a punk, but he's totally stuck up.
Yeah,
you know?
Totally,
but
man.
Anyway.
So it gave me closure on the band. Honestly, I don't really see myself really ever listening to any of their music again, never see them again, but like I really will continue to say that The Upsides was one of my favorite. It's in my top 25 albums of all time, probably. Yeah, top 50. I mean, honestly,
Upsides, Suburbia, and Greatest Generation are all probably in my top 25.
Totally,
you know? But I didn't really like. I gave Sister Cities another listen to, and like I said, they're just trying to be an arena rock band or something. So.
Right, and they aren't, and it's not really translating that great compared to other bands that have made that jump. A Day to Remember has made that jump, and they are very successful for it. Bring Me the Horizon is about to crash into the freaking world on January with this insanely great arena rock album. They already have 2 singles out, and I'm in love with A Wonderful Life, which sounds like Rage Against the Machine with no rough vocals.
I actually heard it on the way here. I like the riffs. The guitar riff is heavy.
So heavy, man. But anyway, the Wonder Years, that's enough about that show. Overall, yeah, it gave me closure. But Trey and I, of course, still love those older albums. I know The Greatest Generation means a lot to you, so great band. Soupy was very disappointing, and no, we get a ton of great shows in Des Moines, motherfucker. Ozzy's coming next year.
Ozzy, dude.
I mean, Ozzy's like one of the pinnacle of rock and roll metal, right?
Dude,
who else? Metallica.
We had Wu-Tang, dude.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are you even gonna like act like we don't have good shows when we have
No,
Wu-Tang and Weezer, dude? Like,
I mean, big artists come here. Yeah.
No, we've had Blink-182, Green Day,
Fall Out
and
Boy
Weezer. Fall Out Boy.
We
Who the fuck are you, Wonder Years?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Man.
Sorry, Wonder Years, but suck my dick.
He's stuck in his own little world. You know, it's fine though. Okay, Every Time I Die threw the party for their 20th year as a band. Man, oh man, did they rock! So. Vane, dude. Vane opened up. We missed them because no one could get off work early to go see that opener. I'm sorry, Vane. I heard you were amazing. Jeff Myth. Is that his last name?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll just leave it anonymous, but...
Facebook last name.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jeff... No, I actually know his real last name, so I won't say it. Maybe he doesn't care like that. But anyway, he was at the show. We caught up for like a few minutes. He was digging Vane. He loved seeing them. He saw them at the Muse. He's seen them open up for another really hot headlining heavier band. And he also loved Angel Dust and Turnstile. He was there for those 3 mainly. So Angel Dust, lead singer of Trapped Under Ice, Justice. That's his new like punk band. And dude, they were freaking awesome. He came out in an Adidas tracksuit, took off his tracksuit jacket, and had an Adidas shirt underneath.
Nice.
My only critique of the get up was I couldn't see his shoes, so I didn't know if he had a boost on or whatever.
He had to rock the Adidas. You can't just wear.
He would look like the
Adidas
biggest
tracksuit.
dick if he came out in Nikes.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my god.
But he had an LA Dodgers hat. He should have worn an Adidas hat, man.
Well, I mean, poor touring band, bro. You can't expect him to have all like the trimmings, dude. Like,
yeah, I know. But he was awesome, dude. That band is sick as hell. I downloaded a bunch of their stuff. It's 90s punk, dude, straight up. And it got me to listen to like old AFI again. Oh, I love like the old 90s AFI, just like I love all of it. But they were sick as hell. Turnstile was unbelievable. I know Trey's a big fan.
A huge fan, dude. I am beyond jealous that you got to see them, man. And I actually wanted to go to that with you just to see Turnstile.
Yeah, dude.
They're hilarious too, lad. Like, was he okay? So when I saw him, he was wearing short shorts, was like standing up on top of an amp and just doing this weird booty dance the entire set.
He was all about that weird dancing.
He does that booty dance, man, and it's good.
Really, dude. I just noticed that the lead singer, he's all like, he always changes his style. Like, I remember watching videos, like one time he had cornrows. One time he shaved his head,
I
and then
bald.
I think I saw the video last night.
He had long curly hair.
Yeah, long curly hair.
But he was amazing, dude. You know what I really love about him? If you know Turnstile, they're this heavier, what would you say, like hardcore band? Just hardcore?
Yeah, more like old school, like DC hardcore, like,
okay.
So, like, I don't know, Minor Threat-y, but like not with chugs in it.
Yeah, lots of good chugs though. It's not like that like played out bass line that's like 3 notes and then the guitar is just like doing the same thing. It's like I really like their
It's really
music.
surfy and like cool.
Oh, for sure. Very surfy. He's got those beach vibes for sure.
Oh yeah, you want to ride a longboard. You want to get out the bodysuit and get in the bodyboard up going. You know, I don't know, man.
Punch a dude in the face while you're at it.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
That's
out.
the kind of shit that you feel it, dude. I don't know. I love it.
So yeah, with that being said, with those parts in a lot of their songs, if not every single one, he literally got off the stage so the guitarist and the bassist could go nuts and like swing their stuff around. Like he got out of the way, and so it just really, I've never seen that before, and I really appreciate it. It's like he recognizes that these bands or his whole band is a band. It's not only about him.
Yeah,
I love that, dude.
I think that their guitarist must be from something else too.
So
because
the African American gentleman.
Yeah.
So Lydia said that his name's Frankie Franz or something like that. He was the merch guy for Trapped Under Ice for so long. He's been in other bands. He actually played when Trapped Under Ice did their reunion show or like small tour in like Chicago in the West Coast or whatever. He actually was in the band like replacing whoever else. Sure. I don't know if he was even in Trapped Under Ice. But anyway,
he fucking shreds, dude. And it seems like it's from, I don't know, like it seems like he would have been in some older like shreddy punk band, you know, but I guess not. I mean, like, he's in Trapped Under Ice.
He's been playing music and been supporting his musicians by being merch. Sure. Like, he's been around forever.
Does he sing?
He is the soft vocalist. That's what I was just going to say. And if you guys know any of their songs that came off on Time and Space. Was Time and Space released this year? Or was it last?
I couldn't tell you.
I think it's this year.
He's got an amazing voice.
Love his voice, dude. And he sounded so good live. And so he sings the entire song for Moon, which is one of my favorite tracks off there at that album. Man, they were killers. But here's the thing, man. Like, they are blowing up because of that Time and Space album, right? They did a huge tour with whoever else, another big band. They're probably going to be doing a headlining tour next year. You know, like, they're already...
They were already blown up, dude. Like, what's it called? Nonstop Feeling was a huge album. And, like, they got so many shout-outs from these huge hardcore bands. Like, that album... Like, Trapped Under Ice and shit had been, like, shouting them out. And, like, they are now, obviously, elevated above the Trapped Under Ice band, you know, where they're playing after Angel Dust with like a band that has like all of this credit and history and stuff. So I think that they're already a huge act.
Totally.
You know, so
my point with this is Every Time I Die tours smart. They've been touring smart. That's why they can celebrate 20 years as a band, and they're about to go in the studio and write their next album next year. They've already said that on social media. And so I have other examples of this, man. Like, they've toured when these other bands were at the pinnacle or the height of popularity, or on that rise, on the incline. They toured with Code Orange Kids when they were Code Orange Kids. Right before I Am King came out, they were blowing up. And then I Am King came out, dude. They've toured with Let Live right before Let Live blew up. Rest in peace. I really love that band. They toured now with Turnstile, Knocked Loose. We went and saw that tour last year, February 27th, 2017, dude. Omaha, one of my favorite times I've ever seen Every Time I Die. I had so many awesome friends with me. Then they toured back in 2009 when I first saw them outside of a Warped Tour, Every Time I Die. My second time seeing them, Bring Me the Horizon. 2009, dude. Suicide Season had been out for a full year. That album was a ripper. Everyone was digging on those Hot Topic looks.
Yeah, no, they're touring with bands like that are releasing their best album always, which is like awesome.
It's so smart. And that's not just the manager. That's not just Epitaph Records helping them out with those. Like, that's them scouring and looking for those bands and those acts and asking and putting the word out that they want to tour. And of course, these bands want to tour with someone like Every Time I Die who can still bring. Oh shit! Oh shit! Trey just choked on his coffee. Do you need a towel or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Comedy, dude. I tried to spit it back in, and then it just choked me worse. Oh my god.
I've never seen that before.
What?
I've never seen that before.
Dude, in all of my years, I've done it like twice.
Dude, I've choked on my own spit.
Thanks, brother. God, that's comedy.
This one's gonna be a fun one to edit.
No, you leave that in, dude. You leave that.
No, I just mean because I'll be like listening, all of a sudden I'll talk about Every Time I Die, and then all of a sudden that happens.
So what were you saying, bro? Probably something hilarious, right?
Yeah, no kidding. Basically, what I'm trying to get at the end of the day, they can tour for 20 years, have us tour named 20 Years of Bullshit because of that. So I really want to just talk really briefly. I know we're kind of cutting it long with all these like recaps and whatnot, but their set list was just always super unique. Like, they have standouts and the songs they always play, like Werewolf, No Son of Mine, Underwater Bimbos, whatnot like that. Like, their singles, their huge songs from their albums. They played songs from every album in order. So they started off with Romeo A Go-Go, the first song off Hot
cool.
Damn.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, that song
That's
is...
one of my favorites, yeah.
Oh, okay, tight. And then, of course, Floater and Ebola-Rama were second to come.
Ebola-Rama was one of my favorites, too. Yes.
And then they went into Gutter Phenomenon era, and then, like, in between, while they were changing strings, if they had to, like, Keith Buckley would be like, so we're going into Gutter Phenomenon era, and he'd say, like, possibly says, like, something, like, a little small about it or whatever, and then they'd go chugging in, like, To Board Stiff or The New Black, or, yeah, it was just awesome. And then they went into, of course, The Big Dirty, which is my favorite, which has my favorite song on it of all time, of any band, anytime, anywhere, No Son of Mine. And dude, that was the closest I'd been to stage diving for the second time ever. The only time I ever stage dive was at an Every Time I Die show in July 2013 when they were touring with in Minneapolis at not First Avenue, but the Caboose. I jumped so far off the stage, I missed the first like crowd of people, flipped on my back, like, because that's what you're supposed to do, right? You jump midair and flip on your back, landed on my back, felt like I got knocked out for like a moment. I had to be picked up. I walked over to, at the time, it was Lydia. She went and saw Every Time I Die with me the first few months we were dating. And then my friend Chris Aldridge, and I remember walking over just gasping. And so like ever since I'm like, I don't mosh anymore. I don't really get in the pit. I mean, during No Son of Mine, I think I jumped in.
That's when the Kenyan track and field team approached Shaun. They're like, you've got what it takes. It's like, you jumped over, what was that?
7-8 rows. I went far.
It's like, you have what it takes. You're going to be our new long jumper.
Yeah, dude. So they went into the new Junk Aesthetic. They only played 2 tracks off that, but they played 4 tracks off The Big Dirty. Then they went into, of course, their newer albums, and whatnot, and then ended with Low Teens, Map Change, of course, which is they're gonna be there ending with that track for a long time. This is my favorite. It's one of my favorite songs by them of all time. So the show was awesome. It was at the Granada Theater in Lawrence, Kansas. I don't know if you guys have been there, but it's amazing setup. It's a theater, so it has an inclined setup, so there's not a bad seat in the house. The first floor is the floor where people are doing moshing and stuff. And then there's some stairs that lead up to 3 or 4 feet to like the next area that has a guardrail around it. So like there's no barricade either. So of course, like throughout the show, this is a hardcore show. Turnstile said that, get on stage. Every Time I Die did, of course. People were jumping, crowd surfing. It was awesome. This show was really, really good. Top 5 times I've seen it. That was my 20th time celebrating 20 years of bullshit with
That's
the 20th time.
Pretty cool.
See Every Time I
That's
Die.
pretty cool the 5th time, dude. That's my 5th favorite. That's pretty cool.
Probably, but yeah, it was awesome. They played Roman Holiday, so many good tracks.
Roman Holiday is one of my favorites, actually.
Dude, there's not a song that's chugs, like, gets you, like, amped up. Like, the build-up is so unbelievable.
I love that album. Like, that's New Junk Aesthetic, right?
Yeah.
I love that album. That's actually probably my favorite album by them overall.
For sure.
There's, like, so many good songs, and it makes sense as an album. Like, I don't know, it flows really well anyway. It's good.
And hopefully next year we'll see a 10-year tour for that album.
It's been out 10 years.
2009 to 2019.
Jesus Christ, I'm gonna kill myself, dude. I'm so old. Like, that's crazy, dude. Because that feels like it just came out, dude.
That was like my first time seeing them was when they were touring on support of that album with Bring Me the Horizon, outside of Warped Tour, of course.
Because I would have considered that like one of their like newer albums, but I guess I've missed a few. Like, so what is it? Like,
that's their 4th oldest or newest now. So after that is X Lives 2012, which I saw them 4 times that year on that rotation. I love that album a lot, but I definitely don't have it as high on the list. But then from Parts Unknown, which is my favorite album by them probably, it was produced by Kurt Ballou from Converge. And so I love the tweet this week from Jordan Buckley, the guitarist, brother to lead singer Keith Buckley, but he said something like, what the hell did Kurt Ballou put in us? Like, how much cocaine was he doing? Because their tempo is like so much quicker in that whole album. It's so much more erratic and just chaos reigns. I mean, it's awesome. And then of course Low Teens, which came out in 2010, and they're recording that new album coming out soon. Album 8, LP8. I'm super excited. Got to see them. But yeah, let's get out of this topic. We got some other things to cover. I want to at least get to Stan Lee. What do you guys think about this? Stan Lee dying at 95. There's so much stuff online about him dying at 95. I'm like, he's 95 years old. You know, he's been in 16 Marvel movies in the last like 10 years since Marvel just now turned 10. Well, Marvel Studios, the movie. Yeah. But of course, Marvel's been around much longer. He was a co-founder, creator, co-created Thor, Spider-Man, Ant-Man, X-Men, Fantastic Four, Incredible Hulk, Daredevil, so many more than that too. I mean, he was co-creator on much, much more for sure. I wanted to know what your guys' favorite is.
Favorite Marvel hero?
Yeah.
Probably Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's my favorite.
Fuck. Captain Marvel? I don't know.
No, that's pretty tight.
No, I'm just kidding. I was just trying to do the most obscure thing I could think of since you both picked Spider-Man. I don't know.
I know a lot of people. I mean, so the Avengers, like, let's think of, like, who's your favorite Avenger? I would say Spider-Man now, but at the time, I used to love Captain America when I was younger. Because he had that, like, 1994 movie that was, like, super, digged really big.
Honestly, X-Men, like...
You like X-Men?
I like X-Men way better than any other Marvel property, like, by a lot. Like, honestly, the Marvel heroes were kind of, like, not as... So, like, if you put a DC hero against a Marvel hero, the DC heroes are these huge, like, god figures, and then, like, the Marvel heroes are more, like, relatable human characters. And, like, when I was a kid, you know, I was, like, attracted to, like, the stronger. I was like, who would win in a fight? I want to follow. That's the guy I'm going to watch, you know. And, like, Superman would kick the shit out of every Marvel hero, no questions asked.
Right.
Along with, like, pretty much every other DC hero, you know. But anyway.
OP.
Yeah. But anyways, I'm really sad about Stan Lee because I thought that he's, like, such a passionate, like, guy. You know what I mean? And, like, the fact that he made those like human characters, which as an adult I appreciate more than like the larger than life gods, you know?
Right.
It's like a cool thing. And he cared a lot, you know?
Yeah, no, exactly. And he was only worth, I know this sounds weird to say, but only worth $70 million. But like the Avengers only, the last one, what's it called? Infinity War, yeah. I'm getting it mixed up for some reason. But that one it made $2.05 billion, the most money a superhero movie's ever brought in. I think it's like top 3 or second most grossing after like Avatar. So that is nuts, right? Like, how is he only worth $70 million?
No.
Well, Marvel was sold to Disney, right?
For $4 billion.
So I'm assuming that Stan Lee had sold like out at some point, or like a majority sold out, and then they just kept bringing him in to like maybe reignite the franchise, or like there was an agreement where he would be in cameos or whatever.
So we mentioned on the podcast last year, the last couple years of his life have been really tough. His wife of 69 years died. He also was suing POW Entertainment, which is his entertainment company that he built for movies and games to get his Marvel properties and all of that. And that came out in 2001. Like he made that company in 2001. He obviously was not a leader of it or whatever. He sued them for $1 billion. He ended up, in the last couple of years, he ended up dropping the lawsuit. He didn't really have much fight left in him. I mean, he's 3 at the time.
Yeah, what benefit? Did he have children?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure he did. But I think one of his sons died. I mean, he's been with his wife for 69 years, so
yeah,
he outlived a lot of his family. I mean, his friends, of course. One thing I did want to mention, a couple of things on this, if you guys don't have anything else you want to add, of course, but he dies, and it's just like this is gonna happen probably forever now that we have social media, but people are trying to shit on his legacy. Like, just like anybody that dies that's popular, that did a lot of good for the world, let's go look for the bad. So I was seeing this on Twitter. A lot of people were trying to do that. And I was really getting like irritated with it. And I retweeted something, a snippet of his Stan's Soapbox. So that was a thing that he was doing in his monthly comic book column called Stan's Soapbox, where he would just like talk about anything, social issues especially. And the one that he talks about is like racism and bigotry. Like, there is no room for that in the world. That is literally the worst thing that for society and humanity as a whole. And he goes on and on. It's an awesome. I have it pulled up here, right here. So he goes. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. You can see it's not super long, but let's lay it right on the line. Racism, bigotry are among the deadliest social ills plaguing the world today, but unlike a team of costume supervillains, they can't be halted with a punch in the snoot or a zap from a ray gun. The only way to destroy them is to expose them. And he goes on and on and on. Like, they're saying he's a sexist person. Like, people were saying he was sexist. He doesn't make enough women superheroes. What? Captain Marvel, one of the most like powerful superheroes of all time, who we're about to see kick some ass next year, is a freaking woman, you know? And they're talking about racism too. He has a bunch of people saying he was racist in the 70s. But this came out in like 69 or 72 or something.
Yeah. No, that's like, have you ever seen how the internet works? They want clicks, you know, and his death is leaving this like shockwave through the internet. And in the wake of that, you're gonna see just so many people just trying to get like 10 likes, you know? Like, if that's how the internet works, is they're very opportunistic and like very like predatory with like the shit they're posting, you know? And like, they don't care that there's this guy's life work, you know, that like a lot of people love and stuff. They just want to get those views, and it doesn't matter what they're taking away from anybody, because they don't give a shit.
He's above Steve Jobs. He's above people, well, maybe, but he's up there with Steve Jobs as far as like his work, his creations, his brain brought so much joy and so much love and touched so many lives. Like, he's probably I would say half of the entire world, 3.5 billion people, maybe a little bit less, but like they know about something he has had a hand in creating.
You know, right? Like all over the world, everyone knows something, at least one thing.
China alone is 1.8 billion people, right? Like, and these movies are doing crazy in China now, like these Marvel movies.
Oh yeah, dude.
I know my cousins down in Mexico, they're huge fans of Marvel, DC, all that. So like all that, anything in the U.S. is huge influence in any other country.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, that was really annoying me. I did want to get your guys' take on. So of course I do want to say people were also saying that he stole ideas, or he didn't give enough credit where credit was due. He just, like Trey really well put, like the internet was just being the internet. But he was actually super mindful about giving credit to his co-creators when he was a co-creator on something, and where he loved to collaborate. I mean, there's a way, the Marvel method of like coming up with storylines and whatnot. He developed that, of course. I don't know the exact details of it off the top of my head, but it's something like you get in a room, you talk about an idea of something, you have an artist in the room too, drawing up storyboards or ideas for the storyboards, and you leave blank spots for the writing team to come in. Like, it was just a unique way to make those comics and share those stories. But he liked to collaborate. So Steve Ditko, who also co-created like a whole bunch of those superheroes that we already listed, and then Kirby, I forget his first name, but he gave, for instance, on the Spider-Man movies that came out in the 2000s, he gave Steve Ditko a writing credit on those because he helped create Spider-Man. So he did go out of his way to make sure that his friends that he developed all these characters with got that credit that they deserve. So I mean, man, that internet stuff, the internet being the internet is just pisses me off sometimes. But last part of this story I did want to bring up to you guys, get your guys' viewpoint on it. Armie Hammer, are you guys familiar with that name?
No.
Okay, so he is, if you've seen The Social Network, he plays both the Winklevoss twins, the rowers. I can bring him up too. For listeners playing at home, you might have to Wikipedia. He is an actor, okay? I'll pull up a picture of him real quick on our video wall here in Studio Easy Peasy. You may not really recognize him off that picture, but he's an actor, okay? And he's kind of outspoken. He doesn't really have that large of a following.
I can't tell, man.
Yeah, I mean, all these
pictures are dog shit, dude.
Oh, here we go.
I don't recognize
So
them.
the Winklevoss twins, though, you know who they are?
Yeah.
With the Facebook story.
You know, the Bitcoin billionaires.
Yeah, now they're Bitcoin billionaires. So he really got upset and angry because after the day that Stan Lee died, or like the announcement came out, all these celebrities are posting selfies with him, right? I mean, we already have a bunch right here. I mean, we have Hugh Jackman and Chris Pratt. Oh, I love working in his world that he created, and here's a picture of me with Stan Lee. Armie Hammer got all upset because he's like, you're making his death about you and the time that you got to meet him and whatnot. What do you guys think about that notion?
I would agree with that. I think a lot of people do that same thing on Facebook, and like when one of my friends passes, we like all of these people will have this like pissing contest, and like you'll see people you know for a fucking fact didn't know that person, you know, trying to like make posts because they're like in the same picture. And
Can I get 40 likes off this?
Yeah, like whatever it is, whatever their like intentions are is like really, really gross. Like when my good friends die, I don't post about it on the internet at all. Like I'm sad, you know, I don't put that up there. If you're sad about it, I don't feel like that's an exercise that makes any sense.
I need to talk about it even more on social media.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, there's exceptions to that. Like, okay, your grandmother dies or something like that, where you need, like, you kind of are reaching out to people in a way to get support, or, like, you don't have, like, a really great way to, like, ask that from your friends. Like, that's a way to get support, you know? And I guess I can deal with that. But this is not that. Sorry, I'm sick.
Oh, it's okay. Are you actually sick?
I don't know.
Might be getting sick.
No, I had like bad allergies yesterday.
I just went to the allergist this week. Got my arm poked like 78 times by the little toothpick things.
Oh yeah.
I'm not really allergic to much. I'm allergic to some trees. March through June or March through May, and then I'm allergic to some weeds. Some weeds like in the summer months, and then ragweed like everybody else in Iowa.
Yeah, I need to go get that checked out. That'd be nice to know exactly what's making me sick.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, it's awesome, dude. It's like they do like 108 things or something crazy.
108 different pricks or just one prick?
It's like it's not even really a prick. It's just like it feels like a toothpick poking slightly.
Like 108 times?
It's not that many. It's like 50 though. It has like cat, milk, all the nuts, all the.
I'm not getting sick. Never mind. I'll just be sick.
No, you've had a bunch of tattoos done. You barely feel it. Yeah. I'm telling you right now. I'm a wuss when it comes to tattoos.
I just don't want to like sit there for 50 separate stabs.
Oh no, they know what they're doing. I'm telling you right now, it was a good experience. I am glad I did it because I thought I was allergic to a lot more, but I'm not, which is good. Anyway, though, getting back on track with this, this Army Hammer situation with the selfies, he got crazy backlash on Twitter, like saying, "Hey, dude, we're just trying to like mourn the death of like some one of the most brilliant minds in the storytelling world ever." And he got dragged on the Twitter, and like people were smashing him. And then he deleted it, and he issued this apology. So, what do you guys think about like? I mean, Trey's already said his piece kind of, but he says, while attempting to provide some unnecessary social commentary about the current selfie culture, I, in true asshat form, thank you Jeffrey Dean Morgan, inadvertently offended many who were genuinely grieving the loss of a true icon. I want to apologize from the bottom of my heart and will be working on my Twitter impulse. What do you think about? Did he need to say that? I mean, he got lots of people saying crap at him.
So that's just like a way to get people off his back. And I think the people that were posting the selfies with Stanley are still like trash, you know? Like, I think that was a trash move by them. And if I see like Chris Pratt like trying to defend the fact that he was just like social media whoring, I probably won't watch his movies anymore, you know? Like,
oh, he definitely was not one that did that.
Yeah, I think that it was like an uncool move. Like, to have like, okay, a picture of Stanley on his own is like a gesture of like remembrance. A picture of you and him going like, it's like, that's like, come on.
So one of what Army was trying to say is, hey, post your favorite superhero that he made, and like what made you feel as a kid, and like whatnot. What do you think about it, Luis?
That's a better example than to just, post a picture of him, yourself.
Yeah. So when I think Stan Lee came to WizardCon or whatever we have here in Des Moines once a few years ago, and you had to pay $50 or $60 to go like have a picture taken and talk with him for 14 seconds.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
I actually went to WizardCon last year.
Oh, nice.
The day after Cosmic Kingdom. I won free tickets.
That was a tough day.
Yeah, it was.
It was.
We got there super late, and by the time we got there, they were packing it up. But it was so cool. It was a cool experience. I think it would have been better if we went on a Saturday, like super early. But I mean, the only celebrity that I recognized that we were like, I was like this close, like from where we're sitting, was Elijah Wood.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, no, he's cool.
He's Brodo. A freaking creep.
He's super short.
Short.
He looks creepy.
He's a creepy mother effer in Eternal Sunshine. Jesus.
And what is it called? Sin City. He's creepy in that too.
For sure, dude. And he I don't know if you guys knew this, but he has this like weirdo like vinyl collaboration thing he does with like another actor, up and coming or kind of just not as successful actor, where they play vinyls. They spin actual vinyls like from all over the world, like Africa, like albums that have vinyls that
he's a DJ too, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's opened up for a lot of big names. I'll see like, I know I'm subscribed to Dylan Francis. I don't know why, but on Snapchat, he'll go to these like celebrity parties, and then he'll sometimes occasionally, like there's been a couple times where I'll see where he's got Elijah Wood opening up at this like crazy VIP celebrity party.
Yeah, and it's so interesting too because it's not really a mashup of anything I know. It's like literally like African songs, Hindu, like Chinese, like it's just worldly. It was an interesting experience, and he was very upset when we saw him in Chicago with this like little performance thing he does. Like he was so upset when people were taking videos of him and stuff. He's like, I'm not here as an actor, I'm here as a performer.
Oh my god.
He was so upset.
Celebrities are the worst. That's all I'm saying.
Let's get this update real quick on Juul. Just want to update since we've been following this story. They suspended some of their flavors, select flavors that are more appealing to kids and whatnot. And this was all in just kind of like expecting the FDA to come down this week. They did it earlier in the week, and then the FDA made their announcement that with Juul having control of 70% of the e-cig industry, which is it hits up 3 million middle or high schoolers. 11% of all high schoolers that were like on this like analytics or whatever statistic said that they had vaped. By the way, but
you can take like one puff off your buddy's thing and like now I vaped, like, you know, and
sure.
Like I remember when I was in middle school, this kid like let me borrow his inhaler. I was like, "Do you want to see how many times I can puff this inhaler on the bus?"
Oh,
you did like 100 times, like probably wasted the entire inhaler in one thing, and like that was probably way worse for me than like any amount of Juul, you know,
yeah,
like
totally.
So just saying, like kids are gonna do dumb shit.
Yeah. So they suspended some of the popular flavors after all this backlash throughout the year, and they've made more sophisticated online ID verification. So they're doing all these things after like last year or earlier this year in October, just a couple last month, where the FDA came into their San Francisco offices and took like thousands of papers of documents like to build this case against them. They seized all this documentation. So FDA Scott Lieb says they're coming down on these fruity flavors primarily. So we're talking the cucumber, the mangoes, the cherries. And
cucumber? What 16-year-old wants cucumber flavored vape?
I tried it. It's not bad.
That's an adult flavor. Cucumber. Okay, there's like all those other ones. Fine.
You have to
Cucumber,
vape it with your pinky out.
Yeah, dude. That's like a fancy. You know.
It was special edition. Only came out for like some of the summer. Then they were like, "Oh, this is selling a lot. We're gonna keep releasing it."
Okay.
So he came down on those fruity flavors, and Juul already said they're suspending some of those flavors being sold in stores. So people like Truth. Are you guys familiar with the Truth organization? They're at Warped Tour every year. They're like that orange logo.
Oh, duh, the smoking.
Yes,
yeah.
Anti-smoking. They're trying to make the good fight for anti-vaping now, of course.
They're the edgy ones with like the body bag ones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
They're edgy. They're the edge lords of anti-smoking.
Yeah, dude, they're coming down on they're super upset that mint is not getting on this list. So the list includes like normal tobacco flavors still gets to go around and be sold everywhere, and then the mint, and then the of course menthol. So they're upset because they're trying to say mint is a candy. What do you guys think about that? Mint's my favorite.
Dude, I mean, isn't mint menthol? I mean, like, isn't what's the difference?
I couldn't tell you.
So have you smoked the menthol one?
I've never had the menthol one. Oh, Juul.
So I think
I've never had the menthol either. I've only had the cool cucumber, which kind of tasted like menthol. You know?
Yeah.
Well, all I'm saying is it sounds like menthol is targeted towards white trash and mint's targeted towards not white trash, you know? Or maybe like previous
Kids.
like smokers, you know, like with the menthol, like people that smoke Newports, like they'll go for the menthol instead of the mint. But people given the choice between the two things, like, menthol or mint? I think I'll take the mint. You know, it just sounds better. It doesn't sound like you're grimy and like living in a trailer court. Like,
Yeah,
you know?
so the cream mango is what super popular in like very young kids, like middle schoolers, and then the flavors like menthol, mint and cucumber, and like more of like kind of more candy but not fruity flavors. That's super like popular with the high schoolers apparently. So Juul again, like they're trying to make strides to be better. They are ending all their online advertising, and they shut down all of their social media accounts, which is where they really went viral. They went viral with some of their YouTube videos. They went viral with their social media posts and like their Instagram ads. And so, I mean, I think that they're making the right strides to be a better company, to not have this in kids' hands.
You want to know
At
something
least doing
crazy?
their part.
I've actually never seen a Juul ad or nothing, and the only reason I found out about Juul is because
Well, you're
I
not
started
16.
seeing my friends taking a puff at them. But yeah, maybe it's that like that whole like weird social media thing where they know you, so they're like, oh, this guy is 26 years old, he's not interested in Juul, so we're not gonna put it in his news feed.
You're not gonna start vaping if you don't vape, and like they might target people that have searched vape things, you know, but they're not going for you as a non-vapor or
totally,
because I've never seen a vape ad on my shit.
Yeah, do you vape?
No, I do. Because, like, you know, every time I start drinking a little bit and I occasionally do want a cigarette.
Agreed.
And I try to stay away from cigarettes because I can just, it's just not good for you. So I prefer to vape instead. He actually, you know, you told me all about the Juul. So I was like, you know, I'll get one. The only thing I don't like about the Juuls is that I've lost them. I've lost 2 of them already.
Oh, yeah, they're like that big, right? Like,
so Andrew, who's been on the show, Andrew Smithson, friend of the show, he got me into it because it's so convenient. It's like
very convenient.
It's not that squirty crap. I hate that stuff. You know, vapes that you have to squirt in, then you have to make sure this tightened down, then you have to make sure the battery is big and bulky is like charged, and you can change the settings and all. No, what I wanted was this is considered the iPhone of vapes. I mean, 70% of the e-cig market is insane. I mean, they're worth $16 billion within a few years. So, yeah, I mean, I like how you can switch out a pod. You plug it in. It's like a USB plug-in. You let it stand. It's on a stand. It's glowing when it's charging. It's green when it's fully charged. It's all these like little hip and cool things. It's a very smart product overall. I have one in my drawer. I haven't smoked my Juul like since earlier this a couple months ago now, and I'm happy. I'm not gonna go back. I thought about it because I went to like the allergist and he said that it wasn't probably the Juul that was affecting me throughout those summer months when I thought it was, giving me that horrible phlegm, and I still do kind of think it was, even though he says it probably wasn't. So I'm gonna try staying away from it. But
Dr. Shaun, it must. I just have one question about the vape thing before moving on. What's the tobacco flavored vape? Like,
I had it, dude.
What the fuck?
it.
Why?
Just like.
Why would you do that?
When you buy a Juul, you get this 4-pack, right? So it's cream, it's mango, it's mint, and then it's tobacco. And every single time, so I actually, when I bought the Juul, it came with that. I traded that one at Electric Forest to Derek DeStefano, friend of the show. He's gonna host this awesome party later today for Friendsgiving. But I traded to him for a cool mint one. I felt like I just ripped him off. I traded a Weedle for his Charizard.
That's exactly what I was thinking the second you said that.
Dude, you know what made me feel even worse about it is like so Electric Forest, for listeners playing at home, you already know this, but it's like a 7-day experience. I mean, with the driving. But like the last day, like on Sunday, he came up to me. He's like, "Hey, dude, do you have any more Juul pods? Do you want to trade back or something?" I'm like, oh, I feel so bad. Like, I'm that kid that like got a Blastoise for like.
It's like, no, I already traded it, bro.
I was legit out by that time because I was just going nuts on my Juul. But yeah, what I do. Oh, one funny thing that people like in our friend group kind of made a joke about throughout the summer is that the Juul, if you have it plugged in, so I had a battery pack, right? External battery pack to charge my phone and my Juul throughout the summer. And I plug it in, and if you put it, like stands up vertically, so perpendicular to like my battery pack, it looks like a Wi-Fi station. So throughout like 515 or Cosmic Kingdom, I believe was the main one, but I was like saying free Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi.
No, yeah, I saw you at 515 this year in the tent, and you would just hold it up in the air as high as you could and just kind of just bob your head. So at first I thought that without even thinking about like, oh, that's the Juul. I was like, dude, Shaun's got Wi-Fi right now.
What's the password, brother?
Yeah, people were actually like legit falling for it. It's funny.
That's like that screwdriver vape thing where like he goes to the party and like gives him a screwdriver, like, hit my vape, bro.
Yeah,
it's a screwdriver, bro.
Dude, so good. So you guys want to just cap it off there? I do feel like we should get in some Des Moines discussion, though, with this Drake stuff. Real quick, it's just horrible. I mean, there's not much else to say, but I just want to update the world that may be listening to it, that here in Des Moines, at one of our most prestigious private colleges named Drake University, we're having some racism bull crap that we're dealing with. It doesn't just happen in different parts of the country. It can happen in our own home. So they're getting these they're having an issue with this racist robocalls from a white supremacist group. And then also notes, disgusting like racist notes are being put under African American and black students like doors in their dorms and whatnot. Which I'm like, where's the surveillance on this? So a white supremacist group somehow hacked into like this Drake robocall system and had 250 robocalls go out to students, faculty, and staff that just has a horribly racist message like get out of my university, black people, pretty much. And then students of color have been reporting these notes, disgusting handwritten notes being put underneath their doors in their dorms. Like, what the heck?
I just can't believe that you would go waste your time and go through that effort of like just trying to hate on somebody, just like
literally something they can't change, right?
No, they were in 2018. you're not gonna come on top of this. You're not gonna win. I don't understand why.
Dude, no. This is where everyone changes their minds. You're like, okay, they answer this robocall. It's like, you know what? I actually agree with this guy. You know, he's got some valid points. You know. No, it's Iowa, dude. Like, there's gonna be racist pieces of shit here for the next 100 years.
No, that's true.
Like, I mean, everywhere else, like not everywhere else, we're gonna be one of the last people to get rid of that shit because there's so many farm people that like send their kids to college that have never even seen a black dude like come to main town Des Moines or whatever.
So true, man. It's all about the exposure. Expose yourself to different people and different ideas. It's okay for me as someone that generally believes, especially for social issues, super far left, to listen to a podcast, Joe Rogan Experience, with somebody on the right, just to hear how they're thinking. Sure, I probably think they're an idiot or I don't agree with their thought process, but it's good to expose yourself. I like how you brought that up, Trey. So Drake University has to worry about students leaving. These poor, like 4 or 6 students now that have had those notes specifically targeting them. They have to worry about them leaving. Yeah. They got to worry about enrollments that are happening here in the spring coming up.
Well, that's scary shit, dude. I mean, like, it's not that they know where your room is. Like, that's like the really scary thing.
Yeah, dude, that they know this is where a black man lives.
And like the security was so lax that they could get into like I wouldn't want to go there either.
From what I know, it's just to get in the dorm rooms. They ask for ID and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I'm not 100% sure if it was in the dorms, guys. It might have been like their apartments or whatever. But like,
still, that's someone.
That's even scarier if it's not at the dorms, dude.
Yeah, because you're not next door to like another student necessarily.
That means that this group has like tabs on you, man.
No.
It's messed up. I'm glad there's not. I'm glad it hasn't escalated to some violence or something absolutely heinous.
Well, they're pussies. Racist people are cowards. Like, especially like the fact that they're not even like going straight up to their face and being like, "I don't like you, buddy, because of your color." It's like they're like sliding notes under doors because they're fucking pussies. Like, that's how it's always been, you know. Like those guys. Like KKK back in the day, they have hoods for a reason. They know they're a piece of shit, you know. Like, they don't want anyone to like think badly of them for their opinion, you know. It's a bad opinion.
Well put. One of the actual like professors tweeted out like, "Hey, cowards, why don't you come out and tell the students tell the world to our faces instead of sliding notes, like, you know how hard it is to get a camera and a light fixture, or how easy it is to just get a small HD camera and a light fixture. I mean, geez, it costs like next to nothing to do that these days. I was just looking online. You can get these really discreet ones. They call them like lamp cameras and whatnot that looks like a lamp, and it's a camera, HD, 1080p, full on 30 frames per second for literally $100.
Dude, now you have to like be careful when you go into Shaun's house because you never know when you're being recorded. It's all like the whole thing. Your whole life is just an experiment for Shaun's podcast, or like it's like YouTube series or some shit.
For real. So poor Drake. I mean, this is obviously not the message that Drake wants to give out to the world and their students, their faculty and staff. They did something pretty cool though this week. They have been always for like 70 years or something crazy, or however long they've been a university, a private college in Des Moines area. They have this thing called Paint It Green, where they paint one of the streets in like the campus area green to represent diversity and inclusion, where they're everyone's color is mixing up with green, right? I mean, all of our colors together. No one's green. I don't know.
I don't think that.
Actually, yeah.
I don't get the message behind the green choice instead of like purple.
No
or
one's
something.
green. I don't think any combination of human flesh
Yellow
will make
and
green.
orange, which doesn't really still work, right?
I don't think so. Well, there is red in that, and wait.
I thought it was
You
yellow.
need blue.
Green. Wait, what?
It's blue and yellow for green.
Purple.
Blue and yellow is green.
Okay. See,
Jesus Christ!
I'm not good at color math, dude. I'm okay at other maths, but they changed it. The point behind it is they changed it to paint it black.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
So I read about it on the Des Moines Register website.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool.
It's awesome. So hey, we gotta just keep fighting on, keep on keeping on, and yeah, those racists are cowards. I love how Travis said that because it's so true.
Exposure is the main word right
Exposure. Let's expose them and let's expose each other to other people and other cultures and whatnot. Totally. So thank you, dudes, for this was a popping off podcast. I feel like I'm going a million miles a minute, but that's good. I'm jacked. I'm amped for a great day of. We're going to be doing Friendsgiving, Luis, and then we're eating a bunch of food, getting super PHAT fat.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm wearing layers and flannel. I got my Trey getup, actually. I'll show you after the show, but Lydia and I were at Costco. We found this, like, flannel jacket. That's so a Trey jacket. It's awesome.
Dude, I have like a certain vibe. I like to be relaxed. I like to be comfortable, and I don't care about the cost.
Yeah. No, I love it. I'm with you. So then after that, Luis and I are going to be going to, I believe, Turbo Hype first at Vaudeville Muse, their second Turbo Hype, correct, Luis?
Oh, yeah. No, it's the third one, actually. Okay. Their first one was after 8035, and they had a recap video, and it was super, super lit. It looked like we were all having a good time.
So, yeah, Luis is literally the star of this recap video. He was by far having the most fun. He's just showing, he's humble. He was legit the star, dude. Like, there's a 60-second Instagram video of literally just Luis, like, eyes closed, head banging, arms swinging.
The thing about it is, I didn't even know someone was filming me half the time. I was just having a great time.
Exactly, yeah. It is a good time.
But like I said, it's cool to see it from a different perspective. Like, you with all your good friends, just no worries in the world. What's cool about the video is that there's like no cell phones. No one's like taking a video of much of anything.
What was the video guy was taking a video?
So there was like a legit like media dude there. Yeah,
cool.
So he built this video and like these ads
that's way cooler. I was like, dude, the guy that's recording the video has a phone. What are you talking about?
Right, no, he had like a legit camera and there wasn't that many people on like their phones. You're so right. And so who is it again? Turbo Hype is Richie Daggers and
I can't remember the other guy's name.
Okay,
but
so two awesome dudes from Des Moines. They're
spinning vinyl, which is really cool. It's not just like some CDJs and electronic and a USB plug-in. They're actually doing the thing, you know.
Thing. And so like, what's the music generally for the Turbo Hype?
A lot of hip hop. I noticed that there's a little bit of EDM. They did drop some Skrillex in there, I remembered, but mainly a lot of old school hip hop, new school trap.
Yeah. It was awesome. After that, we're going to go watch our boy Nicky Rage throw down at Melting Sounds, probably. I mean, it's going to be a long night for a little
mixture of music. It's going to be...
Yeah. Dude, he's coming up. He's on that grind. He's constantly playing stuff. He plays 515 Alive. He plays those festivals. So it's going to be a great day. We got a lot to look forward to. So let's cap off this amazing show. You guys, that's a really good one. We went through a lot of cool stuff. You can find the EZPZ at TheEZPZ, TheEZPZ. We've got this podcast, and then now we have this bi-weekly video games podcast called Totally Gamescast. It's live every 2 weeks on twitch.tv/totallytrey. Trey's been doing a killer job. We're trying to make it better, so add stuff to it, make it better. So, of course, give us your opinion on it. And then, of course, at the end of the week, Friday morning, it's going to be going up on the EZPZ channel, so YouTube and Facebook right now. Definitely working on possibly doing an audio version or something, and, of course, getting our podcast on those iTunes networks, those RSS feeds and all the things.
We need to streamline the plug because, like, I feel like we have so many plugs going different directions at this point that, like, there's no focus. So, like, no one will click anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're just, like, sending them Like, we got a YouTube, we got a Facebook,
it's live on twitch.tv/totallytrey, and then it's uploaded on YouTube 2 days later.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good way to put it. But the problem is, like, 2 different channels, and I wouldn't be opposed to having you upload it too on twitch.tv, like, afterward or something.
It's on there. That's where I get the download from.
Oh, yeah, but it's not like, it doesn't have, like, all the different cuts I put in, post-production cuts.
Yeah, totally. Good point.
We have, ideas, we got stuff that we're talking about, so you can find, like I said, the EZPZ THE, Easy Peasy on everything. Shaun S. Johnson for me. Luis, where can they find you?
Find me on Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah, but what is your Instagram handle? Do you know off the top of your head?
Just my name, Luis, Luis, and then _ LICEA.
Yes, and of course, if you're watching the YouTube or the video version right now, get back to your computer, your whatever you're listening to, because you can see that right there. Trey, where can they find you?
Just go to twitch.tv/totallytrey, and you can ask me in the chat where the rest of it, or actually the rest of it's in my bio. So.
Yeah. And you're streaming a lot of Fortnite, getting those victory royales, doing work.
Dude, 360 no scoping these little bitches.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed of how you get those shots. Like,
yeah, dude.
I'm just like, it looks like he didn't even try. You're just like, dude's jumping in the air and you're just like, he's dead already. I'm like, how did he do that?
Yeah,
like,
dude.
I'm terrible at that game.
Yeah, you're only seeing, like, I mean, I'd say, like, I'm pretty good at the game. Like, I'm in, like, the top 1% of kills or whatever, but, like, you only see the best parts. You know what I mean? If you're, like, sitting through one of my, like, 8-hour streams, there's a lot of time that's not happening, but, you know, getting better and getting more consistent anyway, so.
Tons of fun.
Yeah, always fun. Always
yeah, dude, I'm having a ton of fun on that Gamescast, so I hope people are out there enjoying it, and if not, try checking it out. So thank you so much for joining us for episode 95, EZPZ Podcast, and we out.